What is up, everybody? How are you guys doing today? My name is Stone. You probably don't even know what I look like. Y'all have never met me on here, but hello. I'm glad all of you guys are in here. I already got 5 people watching. Thank you for joining the stream today. I'm going to go over some of the player projections, like it says in the title 2024 Baltimore Ravens player predictions. I got 6 players in here. I was going to do a full lineup. I didn't want to go with the full lineup. There's too much that can go on, injuries, this and that. I stuck with the basics. I stuck with QB, running back, 2 tight end, 2 wide receiver. Get right into it. Lamar Jackson. Last season, he won MVP, and a lot of people weren't impressed with his numbers. Now, I get it. You just don't watch Lamar Jackson. I get it. The people that are upset with his numbers, I get it. They just don't watch. They don't. 3,950 passing yards, 35 passing touchdowns, 8 interceptions, 675 rushing yards, 109 rushing attempts, averaging 6.19 yards per carry, 7 rushing touchdowns, and 5 fumbles. So let's go over this. 3,950 passing yards would be the most in Lamar Jackson's career. I think he can achieve this easily under this new offense. We saw him go out and pass the rock a lot better than he ever has with having a good system built around him. I think year 2 of Todd Monken's offense is going to give him even more freedom, even more reign under center. I think he's going to go crazy pushing the ball down the field. 35 passing touchdowns would be one off from his career high. I know a lot of people think he's going to get 40 passing touchdowns. I don't see it. The Ravens like running the ball. They love running the ball. The Ravens, that's one of the things that they do best, honestly. They are real running the ball. 8 interceptions. 1 more than the last 2 seasons. He's had 7 in 2023, 7 in 2022, 675 rushing yards. This would be a career low, a very career low in rushing yards with a finished season, as long as he finishes the season. 109 rushing attempts, and I think he's going to have about 6.2 yards per carry. Now, this can depend on a lot of things. It could be way higher. It could be over 7, in my opinion, if he doesn't run that much. 7 rushing touchdowns. Quite simple. I think he's going to get that pretty easily, and then 5 fumbles. Ronnie Stanley. I'm just going to leave it at that. Ronnie Stanley. I think, I don't know how it goes, but I think Ronnie Stanley probably will cause maybe 3 of them, 4 of them. But I have hope for Ronnie Stanley. I think he can come in this year. He said he's healthy. He says he feels good. So you never know. We'll have to go in and just see. Derrick Henry. 1,175 rushing yards, 206 rushing attempts, 5.7 yards per carry, which would be a career high for him. 17 rushing touchdowns, 245 receiving yards, 27 receptions, 2 receiving touchdowns, 1 passing touchdown, and 2 fumbles. Now, with this, I know you guys see the passing touchdown. We'll get to that later. 1,175 rushing yards. I think that he could get more if he does get more carries, but that's the thing. Will he get more carries in this offense? I don't think he's going to need more carries than that. I think the Ravens are going to split his carries. Not really split his carries. I think Lamar's still going to get his, even on read options. I know a lot of people want to see get rid of the read options. I think that they're still going to continue to use them, especially with Lamar and his durability these past couple of seasons. A lot of people don't think he's that durable. They talk about his injuries, this and that. Lamar, he gets down. He doesn't take many hits, if any. I could probably count on one hand the type of big hits that he's taken in his entire career. He gets down. He's a very smart football player, so he's still going to get his. 17 rushing touchdowns. That would tie a career high for Derrick Henry. 245 receiving yards off of 27 receptions. I don't know if that would be a career high for him, but I think he will do very good in the screen game. We saw in previous seasons, Derrick Henry's a great, great running back when it comes to catching screen passes. He knows how to go. He knows where to go. He's a very, very smart football player. Great ball carrier vision. He's going to do numbers in the screen game. 2 receiving touchdowns. He's never really had too many receiving touchdowns. 1 passing touchdown, 2 fumbles. Pretty easy. We all know he's going to get that passing touchdown, whether it's to Lamar, whether it's to Orlando Brown, Ronnie Stanley. Who knows? It could be to anyone. Zay Flowers. This is the guy, man. He's really tough, man. I'm not gonna lie. Zay's different. Zay is different. I think that Zay Flowers this season is going to go off for 1,200 receiving yards, almost 13. He's almost going to get 13. I don't see him getting 13. I do have 1,200. 1,290 receiving yards, 94 receptions, 0 fumbles. You're funny. He ain't fumbling that day. Fun fact, Zay Flowers, he did not fumble the rock last season until the very last time that he caught the ball in the AFC Championship. Didn't fumble a single time. Fun fact of the day. Fun fact. 94 receptions, 13.72 yards per reception, 12 receiving touchdowns, 105 rushing yards, 2 rushing touchdowns, 0 fumbles, and 23 receptions of 20 or more yards. Last season, to start the season, I think that they misused Zay Flowers. Not that they misused him. I think they tried too hard to get him the ball. What do I mean by that? We saw him on a lot of screens that didn't really go anywhere unless he broke about 2, 3, sometimes 4 tackles. He would get stopped at the line of scrimmage, so it made his yards per catch go down a lot. This season, I think that they can dial up some more screens. I think they will use the screen games, but I think that they will be smarter with him and put him in better situations to get the ball down the field after the catch. 12 receiving touchdowns. I don't think that's too far off at all, especially if he's getting 94 receptions. You have to think that's not too far off at all, especially with someone like Zay Flowers, a gadget guy who can play anywhere on the field. 105 rushing yards. We saw last year against the Chargers, he sealed the game by taking an end around to the house for about 42 yards. I think we see that a little bit more. Maybe 5, 6, not 5, 6, maybe closer to 10 attempts rushing, whether it's just sweeps out of the backfield. We know Isaiah Likely's been lining up in the backfield a lot recently. 0 fumbles. Like I said, fun fact, that man doesn't fumble. He had that one unfortunate fumble, and other than that, I don't think he's going to fumble. He's a very smart player. And 23 receptions of 20-plus yards. I think they're going to get the ball down the field. Hopefully, Zay can go off and run a lot more deep routes because last season they didn't really – not that they didn't allow him to. I know the offensive line had a lot to do with that, not being able to get the ball out, really hold the ball. But I think they're going to look at Zay Flowers going deep downfield. We heard him on the Lounge podcast. He said it himself. He wants to go downfield more. He loves going downfield and going deep. That's one of his favorite things to do, so I think they're going to stick with it. I think he's going to have about 23, maybe more. Mark Andrews. This is where things start to get tricky. Mark Andrews is one of my favorite players on the Ravens. But I just don't see him having the old 1,000-yard season that Mark Andrews has had in previous years. His health has been a concern. And although I don't think he's going to be seriously injured for week 1, I know he's been sitting out. I don't think it's going to be that serious. I feel like he's going to play. He's going to be ready to play. But I have him at 805 receiving yards on 69 receptions, 11.59 yards per reception, 6 receiving touchdowns with 1 fumble and 11 receptions of 20-plus yards. Mark Andrews is Lamar's go-to guy. We know that. We know that Mark Andrews, if it's scrambled drill, it's probably going to Mark Andrews. You might as well just double him if it's scrambled drill because he's probably getting the ball 9 times out of the 10, at least in previous seasons. This upcoming season, I think it's going to be a little bit different. Towards the end of last season, we saw a uprise from Isaiah Likely. He was getting the ball whenever he wanted. He was making spectacular catches, yards after catch. I think he's going to be not a go-to guy this year, but I still think Lamar's going to count on Mark Andrews. Serious points of the game, 3rd down conversions, red zone. So I'm not going to say Mark's going to have a down season, but I definitely don't see him being another 1,000-yard receiver for the Ravens. I don't see it. I don't see how he can do it, especially with Zay. I just don't see it. But still, 800 receiving yards, I will take that gladly. Any day of the week, Mark Andrews, I will take it. On to our next player, Rashad Bateman. You can go ahead and screenshot it. I know y'all see the 735 at the very top. You can screenshot it. I don't care. You can go out and screenshot it. Do whatever you want. The man's a baller. There's nothing there's no way to deny that. It's on the tape. He's open a lot. Last year, he did not get the ball as much as he should have. And when he did get the targets, he would let up on a route. If he didn't let up on a route, Lamar would overthrow him. If no one overthrew him, then it would be something else. A fly would fly in front of it. It was just always something with Rashad Bateman and Lamar Jackson's connection last year. I hope that they let Rashad run more in routes. In route, it could be a short end, it could be a deep end, it could be a slant, it could be a post route. It's just something going inside the field because this man has a 75% catch rate on any in breaking route. 75%. Yet this man was just going on streaks the whole game. I don't agree with it. I think a lot of it had to do with OBJ coming to the Ravens, taking up an extra spot. OBJ came in and they wanted to feed OBJ. They knew what he could do on the field. It was just that OBJ, he could not beat the injuries last year. Starting off this season the same way, starting on the PUP list. I think that they find a way to get Rashad Bateman the ball a lot more. 735 receiving yards, 63 receptions, 11.67 yards per reception, which would be a low for Rashad Bateman. He has been a deep threat, I'm not going to say deep threat. He has gone deep a lot in his career, so this would be a low for him. Only 4 receiving touchdowns, 2 fumbles, but 14 catches of 20-plus yards. Now, let me explain my thinking behind this. Rashad Bateman, he can catch the ball. He has very good hands. Now, did he have 2 drops last season? Yes, of course he did, but he also was top 20 in the league in contested catch percentage at 50%. He had 14 contested catches or contested passes thrown to him. He caught 7 of them for 50%. I think that this year he is going to be the chain mover for the Baltimore Ravens. 20 to 20, he is going to be getting the ball a lot. Now, red zone, I don't know. Zay Flowers, it's Zay Flowers. Mark Andrews, he's always going to be the red zone talent that we need. I don't see Rashad doing numbers from receiving touchdowns, but I do see him getting the ball a lot this year, getting 735 receiving yards, maybe even more. We never know. And, of course, injuries has a lot to do with this. But if Rashad Bateman can play a full season, I have full confidence that he could get close to 800 receiving yards. Full confidence, no doubt in my mind about it. Last player, Isaiah Likely. Such an interesting player because we really don't know what he's going to do this year. We don't. We've heard about him lining up outside, lining up in the slot, lining up at tight end, lining up in the backfield. We have no idea how they're going to use Isaiah Likely this year, but we know that they are going to use him. 702 receiving yards on 51 receptions, which would equal out to 13.9 yards per reception. 5 receiving touchdowns, 1 fumble, and 12 receptions of 20-plus yards. With Isaiah Likely, there's no real way to be able to determine what you think his real projection should be. Like I said before, he's been lining up everywhere. There's no way to really tell where he's going to line up. We didn't get to see him at all in the preseason. So it's going to be difficult to sit here and say, okay, Isaiah Likely's going to do this. He's going to do that. We don't know. 700, I feel like, would be realistic for Isaiah Likely. He did lead the Ravens in receptions and yards per reception and yards, I'm pretty sure, within the last 6 weeks of the season. I'm pretty sure he led in all 3 categories. 5 receiving touchdowns. I could see this number, and I'm going to be completely honest. I just put 5. I could see this being 10. I could see him getting 10 touchdowns. Easy. The only reason I put 5 is because, as we know, if Mark Andrews is healthy, him and Lamar like this, bro, they locked in for real. They are locked in. So I put him at 700 yards, 5 touchdowns. I think he could go over on both. I think he could go under on both. It really depends with Isaiah Likely and how they use him. But if they do use him like I expect them to, I could easily see him getting 700 yards, 5 touchdowns. Just to recap, I want to end it on Lamar's. I think he's going to win the MVP again. I haven't been vocal about it. I don't want to hype up someone that just won the MVP, just won it again in 2019. I don't see how you pair a Lamar Jackson up with a Derrick Henry and don't succeed at the highest level. I don't see it, because if you go back and think about it, the last running back that Lamar Jackson has had that has went on to do great things for the Ravens. And I know Gus was a really good running back. Don't get me wrong. Don't get me wrong at all. Gus was a great running back. JK could have been a great running back. Justice Hill has been a good backup running back for us, has been reliable. But it was Mark Ingram. And even then, Mark put up about 1,000 yards. And I can promise you, Mark Ingram is nowhere near Derrick Henry. I think that this duo is going to wreak havoc, absolute havoc in the NFL. I'm just going to say it like this. I've been thinking about ways that you could truly stop this team. What kind of coverages, if you want to run cover 6, blitz, man, whatever you want to do. I can't find a way. You could put 2 linebackers on the field, but if you have 2 linebackers on the field, then you're just going to leave the room for Bateman and Zet. You could go nickel. But if you go nickel, then Derrick Henry's just going to kill you. You could go 3-4. But if you go 3, I don't know. I don't know how defenses are going to stop this team. I don't know. I think Lamar's going to go on to win another MVP. I don't care if people think that's unrealistic. Go watch him play football. A lot of people haven't been watching him play football. They sit here and they want to say, "Oh, Lamar this, Lamar that. He can't throw under pressure." Go watch. That's all you got to do. Go watch. Go watch the man play football. That's all you have to do. You will see he makes an impact that cannot be shown on a stat sheet. The things that he can do to uplift a team, the things that he can do to get a team out of a certain situation. We can go all the way back to the Colts game and back in 2021, I believe. The greatest game I think anyone's ever witnessed Lamar Jackson play in. I don't see how you stop this team. I just don't see a way. I don't see a way that you can sit there and stop Lamar Jackson and Derrick Henry, let alone having someone like Mark Andrews, having someone like even Zay Flowers, Tylan Wallace. We don't know what Tylan Wallace is going to do, but he could very well be a good, reliable receiver for us. He went 4 for 4 in the preseason, caught all of his targets, had one really, really tough contested catch turning around back shoulder from Josh Johnson. I don't know. I don't see how you can stop this team. And the only way that you can stop it, John Harbaugh, the only way that you can stop it is from their own mistakes. That's really the only way that you're going to be able to stop the team. And last season in the AFC Championship, we saw let me be nice. We saw the misuse of our running backs. 6 carries. Can't go back to it. We can't change anything. So you just got to learn from your mistakes. Now, whether they actually learn from their mistakes or whether they repeat their mistakes like they have in the past, who knows? We won't know until the time comes. But we know in the regular season, Lamar Jackson and the Ravens, they are always on the gas pedal. They are playing great football. I expect the same exact thing from Lamar. He's cut down to 205. He was just on the Lounge podcast talking about how quick he feels. He feels just as quick as he did his rookie season. Do you guys understand that? His rookie season? If Lamar Jackson is as quick as he was his rookie season with Derrick Henry beside him, oh my gosh. I don't know. I don't know how you stop it. Let me know your guys' thoughts. Thank you for watching again. We have 36 viewers between Twitter and YouTube right now. So I appreciate all of you guys coming in and watching. I really do. Expect more content. I've been slow about creating content. I know all the people from Twitter, you guys know I've been talking about it for a little bit. I know. But I'm going to start doing it for real. I'm going to be on here. I'm going to give you guys content. You guys deserve it. I'm always on there anyways. I want to make content for you guys. I want to make your guys' day better, everything like that. So I appreciate all of you guys coming through. I really do. God bless. Have a great day. Don't get too hot either. I'm in Ohio right now. It's going to be like 95 tomorrow. Don't get too hot outside. Drink all the water you can. I appreciate you guys. Peace.